So,
Thank you.
Nicholas, do you ever go by Elijah?
Sometimes yes, but most of the time it's normally Nick.
Do you know what the name means, Elijah?
Elijah is a biblical name.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah, his
just I found
grandmother gave him that name out of the Bible. Yeah.
yeah, I found it ironic that, with the Elijah McClain story, that's literally what, got him moving. So, where were you born and raised, Nick?
I was born in Lake Village, Arkansas, and I was raised in Centennial, Colorado.
Oh, okay. So you were down in Arkansas, as we call it, down there in the dirty, right?
Right in the Delta, right on the Mississippi River. Actually, his family, they actually reside on the land of Lakeport Plantation. So he has deep roots in Arkansas, and he has deep history, and he loves to learn about it. And he teaches Mama, he teaches the whole world.
Man, facts. Okay. Well, can you describe what it's like, coming up today, in your area, in the Denver area, what it's like being raised?
Well, right now with COVID-19, there's nothing we really can do, but 2019, the last year that we were able to do things, there was Central Park, there was trampoline parks, there was a park inside of my apartment complex, and there was this, in summer, there would be this big truck that would come and it would give us free groceries and stuff so we could eat outside.
That's cool. So that's kid stuff, which is bomb, Lil Nick, because, we got some questions geared towards that. So
Tell him about, so in one of his first speeches, he made the correlation. Tell him about flying the Confederate flags and tell him that part that you wrote.
Oh, so it was like the states that fly their Confederate flags proudly until I heard the name Elijah McClain, Devon Bailey, and last name?
Breonna Taylor. He was basically saying that we moved to Colorado for racial equality, to get away from the states that fly their Confederate flags proudly, to only find the same situations here in Colorado. And they kind of, I mean, it's just the same. Colorado just kind of wraps it in a prettier box and kind of hides it a little better. And coming from southern states, we look and we see like, whoa, this ain't really no different. Y'all just calling it different things,
Mm-hmm.
So that was a big eye opener for my 11-year-old to see that and feel that, because it's always going to be a worry for me every time my husband or my sons walk out the door. But for my 11-year-old to find that correlation between us moving here for that safety and then us not receiving that safety, it was a big eye opener for me.
Yeah. That's something Self Love and I talk about on the show. There's a lot of hubbub about, how things are and were in the South. And it's just like they let the North get away, like everything was so perfect. And I'm here to tell you, Dr. Martin Luther King said Chicago was the worst place that he had ever been, as far as, where he marched and things, so
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's done differently. Little Nick, what would you say to someone who says that children should not be exposed to frontline activism, such as yourself? Children should be having fun and focusing on Fortnite basketball in school. What would you say to those people?
Well, I actually find the time to do those things that I do want to do that are children things.
Mm-hmm.
But it's more of not it's more if you want to do it, because if you want to do it, you can find time. You can find time to do things like play basketball. You can find time to do things like play video games and hang out with friends. But if you're actually dedicated to doing activism, then you would have to find time yourself.
What makes it important to you though? Like, cause like whenever people tell us like you're in danger or they're gonna call CPS, what do you tell them?
Well, I haven't seen anybody else doing these things that are the same, because as a children, people people would look at me more and pay more attention because of the things I'm saying at such a young age, and it's astonishing, rather than a 30-year-old saying the same exact things, because it wouldn't be astonishing as if an 11-year-old would be.
Yes, powerful.
There was a reporter that asked him the other day, was he scared for his life to be in danger? Because Nicholas led the inauguration march here in Denver, and there was some death threats of other organizers. We didn't get any, but some of the other youth organizers did. And Nicholas told the reporter that, he would rather die for something than die by the hands of police for nothing. So I mean, that's coming from 11 years old to know that he's out here fighting for something. But on the other hand, he has a bulletproof vest on his Amazon wish list. So it's not anything that we take lightly. We've been put out of our apartment for a rally that Nicholas did at the Arapahoe County Justice Center. We were there for 9 years. Wow. Like there's jobs that I've been looked over for. Nicholas has had like hate group chats on Snapchat. Like it's real. It's not something we take lightly. No. But on the same instance, my child could be walking down the street and be murdered for walking while Black. So I don't know how to answer those things without telling you that either way, my baby's in danger. So I might as well stand beside him and fight.
Exactly. That's what self-love, because self-love and I, we've had this discussion, and we honestly, it's mind-blowing. I'm not a parent. I'm married, but I'm not a parent, but self-love is. And it's been obviously if you've had these conversations, a philosophical, conversation, and I'm with it, and self-love is with it, but, we'll get there. But Lil Nick, excluding Nicholas Elijah Evans, whom do you most attribute for your current positioning for success?
What?
So besides yourself, who's the most who besides you, who do you give credit for your success besides you?
My mom.
All right. Now you're not just saying that because she's sitting there, are
you? Mama works hard.
Great answer.
Inspiration.
In rap wise, there's a lot of people I look up to in rap, but for activism, people like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr.
Okay. What's your favorite subject in school?
Math.
All right, that's what's up. What high school do you
play? He's a coder. He can build websites and everything.
I know he's a genius. I without even doing the research, I already know. What high school do you plan to attend?
If we stay in Colorado, Grandview, but if we don't stay in Colorado, depends on where we move.
So why are you considering Grandview? Is it just because it's a local school, or is it something about math, or is there anything?
Oh, it's because it's a local school.
Okay. He likes their football team. He's a football star too now, y'all. He made Colorado All-Star Football League. He's going to El Paso to represent the 11U Colorado Youth All-Star team. So that's why.
Well, University of Illinois, they have a Big Ten football team. You just keep that in mind. I'm planting a seed in your subconscious
for college,
right now.
I want to go to Oregon.
Oh, the Ducks, already. The Ducks.
I'm trying to get him to LSU, Razorback somewhere, but look, he's already got it on his favor. Yes.
All right.
Okay. Yes.
All right. And if the Ducks fall through, you look at the University of Illinois. People lying at it. All right. So here we go. When did you decide to start rapping?
I've been rapping for a really long time, but to start rapping about BLM and social injustices and getting into the studio, I started rapping 3-4 months ago.
Okay. All right. Who writes your materials, like your speeches we've heard you do?
Me.
Your songs, your poems. So you write?
Yeah.
That's a powerful skill. Cultivate that.
He writes his friends' verses too, except for, so we have his mentor next to us. This is Tree the Truth. He's a young Denver activist rapper too.
All right, now.
But he's the only other person Nick raps with that he doesn't write their verses to.
Hey, Truth, were you the person that was filming them in the video? In the rap video they were doing? Okay.
I filmed that. I made that video.
I saw you in one, but there was a guy. I thought, that was.
Okay, yeah. So that video hasn't came out yet. Okay. So that video was done by a youth documentary team that is they're from all over Colorado and universities that came out, and they're doing a documentary about Nick actually, and they did that video for Nick to bring awareness to Jesse Cedillo. Jesse Cedillo is a 20-year-old Pueblo, Colorado kid who was murdered by the police, and we are seeking for a grand jury investigation. There has been no arrest made. The officer who took Jesse's life was just listed as a victim and not as a murderer. So we made that video to bring awareness to this, and that's who was recording it. But Tree was out there definitely supporting. There was like 7 Denver rappers that came out to support, so it was super dope.
Yeah, it was super dope. You got something in you, man. So here's a question we ask all of our guests. It's probably a little easier for you to answer. What advice or information, looking back, would you give to your 9-year-old self, little Nick?
To not be hard. I got a lot. I was grounded from the point where I was 9 to almost my birthday when I was 10.
Mom felt
great. Most people we ask that question, they're already like 40, 50, but that's a great answer, man.